$1,000 here, at the campus where I work. I only charge them $600. So
Okay.
it's a substantial amount of difference. But I mean, I don't charge you anything. But what I was saying that you could do is, I'm getting ready to start another class in August, and what you can do is we can do it kind of live, and I'll call you, and I'll you could be on the other end of the phone where you can actually see it, almost like Skype.
Okay.
You could be in the class even though you're not in the class. So if you're really interested, we can do that.
Okay. Wow, that sounds good. That sounds.
I can tell you some materials to get, how to get the books at a low cost. So,
Okay.
Oh yeah, we can do this. We can make it work. If you really want to do it.
Amen. Now.
That only works with a serious way.
Okay. All right, we're ready to go live.
All right.
All right, God bless you. We're here today. This is Bishop Albert Thompson, Senior Pastor to He is Risen World Outreach Ministry here in the city of Lafayette, Louisiana. We're temporarily holding our services at 1910 South College at the Hampton Inn and Suites. Again, we've moved from our Church Point location here to Lafayette. If you would like to call us, contact me at 337-326-7478. 337-326-7478. Or why don't you email me at bishopalbert@outlook.com. That's bishopalbert@outlook.com. Or why don't you like our Facebook page? Let's go to He is Risen World Outreach. And we're just so glad to be with you today. Those of our visitors, me and Pastor Sadie, we're constantly getting great reviews. And many of you are telling us how much you're enjoying the program. And so we're just really excited about what you're doing. Now we got a special show today. I'll tell you, and the reason I know it's so special because the devil have done everything he can to aggravate and frustrate us today. To where we can't get this done, but we're going to get it done in Jesus' name. I have on the phone with me right now, she's a playwright, she's a writer, she's a director and producer of her own plays. Her name is Jacqueline Leah Giles. Amen. Miss Giles, amen. Greet the people of Southwest Louisiana and around the world.
Praise God. Hello. It is a pleasure. It is such a blessing to be here. I appreciate the opportunity that God has given me through you, Pastor, and I'm just overwhelmed. I'm excited.
Amen.
Part of the show today.
All right, so we're gonna dove right in, and we want to. Your play is about a very serious issue, and that is domestic violence. Is that not right?
Absolutely. It is about domestic violence, and when we speak of domestic violence, not just in the physical. As we know it today, it could be mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, financially, so many different forms of domestic violence.
Okay, good. Yes. All right, now I want to dive into this first question. What made you become an activist on domestic violence?
I'm going to start with up to date first, and I'm going to travel back a little bit. And
Okay.
Back up to date. Currently in my life, I just went through a very traumatic domestic violence situation.
Okay.
And not only was it abuse, that I received abuse, but I eventually became an abuser.
Okay.
In the relationship. And that's something that we don't realize, that spirit gets on us, and you begin to lash out as well, especially if you're not truly rooted, and sometimes you can be truly rooted in the Word, and still, if you'll be around like spirits, and that will happen. So let me first talk about that scenario, to where a lot of things that played a part in that was everything that Satan had to try and destroy the union. It started off at the beginning.
Okay.
That's why we often speak about being equally yoked, and that is so important that you wait on God, you wait on God to give you the light, if you will, that yes, this is the person who God has sent to you, and you wait and make sure that you're prepared, because we often speak about being a Proverbs 31 wife. I'll talk about that later. But anyway, so in this 6-year union that I was in, although we tried, but it was really trying from we tried from a fleshly standpoint, from a spiritual standpoint, and because again, when something starts off wrong, you can't make it better.
That's right.
Start off wrong.
Okay.
So now let's talk about some history within that. Now I'm going to go back in history a little bit.
Okay.
Well, if you don't have resolved issues within your personal life,
Uh-huh.
I'll talk about me for a minute. I'm going to expose myself.
Okay.
Because that's where you get the healing from. Because as long as you keep it locked in, buried in, Satan thinks he has a hand on it. But when you let it go and you release it to God and you deal with it, that's when you start to get your healing. So let's go back in my history of domestic violence. You know how they say that history begins to repeat itself?
Yes.
What do you call it? To where generational curses?
Yes.
Well, I definitely play a part of that, because the same thing that I went through was the same thing I saw my mother go through, which was the same thing I saw my grandmother go through. It just became a repeated history.
Wow.
And not knowing at that time that, what they considered to be domestic violence, because, I was real young, about 5 years old.
Okay.
The time that I really remembered all this happening. And I recall, just so much violence, the verbal, and let's talk about the physical. There were times as a child that I saw, the guns being pulled. I saw the black eyes. It was just so much. And, that stuff as a child, it stays with you.
Yes.
And let's talk about how sometimes we as parents, we feel as though, well, hey, let me stick in there because, to stay in there for the kids. And that is one of the worst things that you could do.
Yes.
That, especially when it's in that type of environment, because even if the child is not physically abused, we are mentally abused, and we carry that stuff with us.
Yes.
Into our teenage years, and definitely into our adult years. And it's not until we go and try to get counseling for that stuff stays with us. And so, and I know I was raised in a godly home.
Okay.
But still, it wasn't until I had to first go through it, because I had to recognize that, hey, I'm repeating history here.
Yes.
And it was as though it was okay, because again, in my childhood, with my grandmother and my grandfather, I saw them go through it, but yet my grandmother stayed.
Okay.
And she stayed for the children,
Okay.
But at the end, and I'm not trying to air my dirty laundry. I guess a lot of people say, well, ooh, how could she just be out there and tell? Well, you know what? Again, I want to help people.
Amen.
I want to help you to be able to say, hey, it's okay to share and see where God has brought you from, even though I went through and experienced and saw and witnessed all this. But who am I today?
Yes.
And it's not until you get all that cancer out of you are you able to be cleaned and be able to move on with your life. So going back into my grandmother and my grandfather, so I saw a lot of that as being a child, to see to where, my grandmother just kind of stood in there. But at the end of the day, when my grandfather went on, that she was left with, I hate to say it, but you were still left with nothing.
Yes.
I mean, because I asked myself, was it all worth it? Was it all worth the while? And then once my mother got married, or with my dad, you begin to see the same things, and then you begin to have a history of adultery. And again, at this time, I didn't know what adultery was because I was a young child. But I saw the plenty of nights that you would see your mother crying or whatever, and then the older I got, the more I began to understand that then when my father would come home, then the fighting would start because now there's guilt on my father's end.
Okay.
And so, my mom would again just stay in there, and I'm looking at all of this whole time, and I recall one time even going to school, because you know how kids are, we don't know when to be quiet.
Okay.
So I recall going to school one time and saying, hey, my dad was shooting up in the ceiling. Oh, Lord.
Wow. Wow.
Because, of course, my teacher had told my parents, my dad, and as, things were back then, what happens in our house stays in our house.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the most unfair situations that you can put your child in, because that's where a lot of the abuse comes in, and that to be true.
Yes, yes.
A lot of the abuse comes in when people say, what do they call it, shh, don't tell.
Yes.
Either, so many, that's where I hate to say it, but the rapes and the incest and all that other stuff comes in at.
Well, now, let me ask you, what is it that, a lot of times, I noticed you mentioned, people saying, you stay for the children.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you stay for the children and the things that that going on. But what was it that attracts a woman to a man that's violent in the first place? I mean, is it she don't stay long enough, or she don't check him out long enough to know what he's doing, or I mean, does she marry him too soon, or what do you think is one of the things where what people, men and women, are overlooking before they get into marriage?
I think there's several factors that plays a part in that. Let's talk about the part of where we don't do our due diligence in checking that person out.
Okay.
And so I know that had I known about the person who I was in union with, had I known that there had been some domestic violence in that person's previous marriage, I don't think I would have gotten married.
Okay.
But you know how, again, a lot of stuff is kept hush-hush.
Yes.
In the beginning. And so family members don't want to, of course, they don't want to share that, oh, this happened or that happened. And so, you just don't know. But there are some telltale signs. Well, perfect example, if you're fussing and arguing, fighting prior to the marriage, what in the world are you getting married for?
Okay.
That's the name of my play. What in the hell was I thinking?
Okay.
In hell, but
no.
What was I thinking?
Yes.
So I knew, and then there was times I would pray, and I would literally ask God, show me if this is right. And sure enough, He showed me that something was wrong. And I said, well, God, maybe You didn't mean that one. Let me try that again.
Okay.
So, by going from flesh, because I didn't want, God was revealing to me numerous of times that this was not it.
Okay.
So, like I said, the due diligence was checking some of the history. And then let's check some of the history on substance abuse, because that can play a factor.
Yes.
It can be a decent relationship, and then if there's substance abuse, and a person doesn't know about that, and then you may have someone else or the other individual, man or woman, husband or wife, to where, there's substance abuse that alters that person's personality.
Yes.
And when they're not on this substance, they may be okay, but as soon as they are on it, they turn into Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Yeah. Well,
So that can play a part in it. So does your mate drink and smoke?
Okay.
Whatever. We don't check these things out.
Yes.
Then what is the relationship that that individual have with their family members? We
Okay.
don't check that out.
Okay.
Is there a close bond? You hear it often. Well, how does a man treat his mother?
Okay.
Well, there's some validity to that, The same thing with the woman. Well, did she have a male figure within her life? You'll find, present company included, myself, that when we don't have a, Lord, and I hope the men truly hear me when I say this, gentlemen, men, if we don't have a male role model in our life, as young women, as young ladies, then yes, there's a lot of things that we will think is okay. And we need our dads, we need our fathers. And it took me a long time to even find anybody, and I can honestly say, up until, because I'm originally from California, up until I moved here to Texas.
Okay.
And I commissioned my pastor named Pastor Walter August with Bethel Family Church in Houston, Texas. It wasn't until the time that I became a member of my church now that I even understand or even respect a man.
Okay.
Because I had been, again, I had been around such, violence.
Yes.
There was no man to respect.
Yes, yes.
The only role model I had prior to coming to the church was God.
Okay.
And if it wasn't for me being able to hold on to what I knew who God was to me, I ended up being that same woman. I ended up being bitter and upset and angry and lashing out, and again, that abuser.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yes, yes. Well, and I think it's very important what you're saying, because people have. I always, if a person would ask me, a person asks the average Christian, what is the foundation of a man, or what is the foundation of a woman, we would give what we think is the religious answer and say God. Well, in one way, yes, that's true, because God is our Father, He's the Creator, but actually, being in the situations we've been in, our foundation. You can't hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Let's see here. Well, she's still on. Well, it took off, but hey man, this is a very powerful. The devil don't want this to come through, because we're in. I tell you what, God is moving. When you see these types of things, that the enemy is trying to be the enemy, and he's trying to cut out this word that's coming forth. This is a very powerful play that she's written, and a very powerful testimony that she's given. And so we're gonna wait for her to call us back here. But the foundation of a man is a boy. Foundation of a woman is a girl. Here we are. Hello.
Hello.
Okay, we back. I don't know what happened, but when that happens, that means you saying something that's really messing with the devil.
Man, it just tickles me every time. Because I can be ministering on the phone to somebody, and my phone or their phone will go dead or whatever.
Yes.
I would have an act up all day. And I just laughed. I'm like, really, Satan? That's all you have?
But as we were saying, as I was saying, the foundation of a man, the foundation of is a boy. The foundation of a woman is a girl. And usually 9 times out of 10, whatever is wrong with them happened because of that foundation being incorrect. My testimony, let me just share, I had this issue. My father wasn't there, but it wasn't because he didn't want to be. It was because he died at an early age. And I grew up thinking I was around one side of the family who was totally different from that side of the family. So I grew up thinking something was wrong with me because I wouldn't like everybody, until I told one of my cousin's wives. I started telling her about how I am, and how that my calling has me this way, and it makes me look weird. And she said, I don't know what you're talking about. Your whole family is like that. And so as I got to be around them, some of the ones even that I haven't seen or didn't know, you would never know we weren't around each other all the time. Because we just, because we click, because we're just like that. But once, but getting back to what you were saying, you did not have that righteous, godly male role model, and that is so important. And if you could you just expound on that just a little bit? As far as from a woman's perspective, what that means to have a righteous, godly male role model.
Oh, Lord Jesus. Well, let me first start by saying I remember I was 5 years old, and that's when I first met Jesus.
Okay.
My mother taking me to church, and I remember with those white gloves, and I remember praying. I truly prayed, and I said, God, there's three things that I wanted in my life. One was to be saved, truly saved.
Uh-huh.
And two was to have a little girl.
Okay.
And three, to marry a man that was truly saved and truly loved the Lord with all his heart.
Okay.
And I tell you that, God has his sense of humor as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes, I tell people that my walk and where I am today did not come without scars.
Okay.
Not in the least bit. And I'm talking about physically and emotionally included. So, but what I wouldn't give them up to say the Lord. I just really wouldn't, because I needed to. I know people think that this sounds crazy. I needed to go through that in order to experience where I am and understand where I am today.
Okay.
And things that I would not receive or what I would not take anymore. And God, because I didn't have any male figure, God had to show me, hey, this is not of me.
Okay.
So as long as you are in that is not a part of me. So you're going to, sacrifice obedience without sacrifice, or sacrifice without obedience. I have to stay within His will.
Yes.
In order for me to, not experience some of the things that I experienced. But once I began to come out of His will, in order to please a man that was not of God.
Okay.
Now, I'm not saying he didn't believe in God. I said he was not of God because it was okay to make excuses for sin.
Okay.
So that's not okay, And so that's one of the things that women that we experience or that we will accept a lot. We make excuses for the man not being the godly man who he's supposed to be. And I have this mantra that I say, I meet a lot of men that says, well, you're supposed to follow. We're not supposed to follow. But wait a minute. The question is, who are you following?
Yes.
So if you're chasing this world almighty dollar, I'm not saying, of course, we need the finances to live and live comfortably, etc. No, I'm talking about chasing the almighty dollar to where you're leaving your home unprotected. And
yes.
when I say unprotected, because you'll chase the dollar, but you won't go to church.
Yes, yes.
Or you'll chase the dollar, but you won't pray with her.
Yes,
You'll
yes.
chase the dollar, but you won't, bring your whole family together and everybody get on their knees. Back to the old days.
Yes.
Everybody get on their knees and cover your wife.
Yes, yes.
Cover her to where, without spot or wrinkle. You know what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're saying.
So often, you don't find that, unfortunately. And we as women, I think a lot of women will attest to this. I know it may sound crazy, I'd rather have a man without all the materialistic and all this, but you are a true man of God.
Yes.
I'd give up all the rest of that any day.
Amen.
Any day. Because I know, first of all, if you are a child of God and you follow Christ, didn't God say that everything is His?
Yes.
So you already have. So a lot of times when I'll meet a male or meet a man and he'll ask me, well, what do you want in a man? Exactly what God said. Because there's a roadmap.
Yes.
There's a roadmap. Now, let me get on the women for a minute.
Okay.
Ladies, and let me speak for myself. Ladies, wait a minute. We want to say that we want all this from the man, but what are we doing? I mean, come on.
Yes.
We have to be accountable for ourselves as well. I'm going to start first and foremost with the way that we dress.
Okay.
Ladies, Lord have mercy. I taught my daughters a long time ago, the beauty of a woman is on the inside.
Yes.
It has nothing to do with the outside. Yes, of course, keep yourself in shape and you don't get dressed for someone else, you get dressed for yourself.
Yes.
But I guarantee now it doesn't take a rocket scientist to know this, that of course a man may be attracted to or lust after, a woman with very little on.
Yes.
But if you truly want respect you, well, first of all, let's respect ourselves.
All right.
And let's, it doesn't take for you to have to expose everything. And
Yes.
I don't know, we've gotten to the point to where I hear my pastor say it often, to where these mothers or grandmothers want to dress like their kids.
Yes.
Not their grandkids.
Yes.
And there has to be a point of growth.
Yes.
Trust me, I recall back when I was about 18 years old, if you don't mind me sharing real quick,
Mm-hmm.
I recall that, I'll never forget, I had worn this halter top back in the 80s.
Okay.
And praise God for my mother.
Okay.
Who went up one side and down the other.
Okay.
And I praise God, I thank her for that. Because
Amen.
From that day, we're talking about back in the 80s.
Yeah.
If not before. It was what she did and what actually she didn't do anything. It was what she said that
Yes.
really stuck to me, and to this very day it made me realize that I don't have to show everything in
Yes.
order for someone to respect me or for someone to be attracted to me, if you will.
Yes. Yes.
And so that spilled over to my daughters. And
Okay.
my daughters are the same way.
Okay.
So that's the first thing I want to say with women. The second thing I want to say about women is what makes us feel that, oh, I'm so fine, I'm so this, that, the other. That man, he has to, he better. No.
Yes.
We have this so twisted. God said a helpmate.
Yes.
He did not say for the woman to sit down at home. And no, if you really read Proverbs, that woman was out and she was working and making sure that the home was taken care of and her husband was taken care of and the kids were taken care of. And when it comes to taking care of the home, that means financially you take care of the home financially.
Yes.
And let me talk, and mind you, I'm talking about married women. I'm not talking about I'm not talking about Shaq, and I'm not talking about all that. Ladies, we will get an attitude with our husbands. And I did a video on this, and I had it on Facebook. And we will get an attitude with our husbands, and then, if you don't mind me saying, then your bedroom becomes cold.
Yes.
So that's not what God said.
That's right. That's right.
God says, if I'm not mistaken, that once you are married, your body becomes his and his becomes yours.
That's right.
And you do not deny each other unless the time of agreement. Now, and if I'm not mistaken, that's what it says. So
That's exactly what it says.
Where does it say, well, I'm mad at you, so therefore I'm not? No, and see, because then there goes a pinhole for Satan to slip in.
Yes. Yes.
Now,
Yes.
again, no excuse for the man, because, of course, stay within the word.
Yes. Yes.
I'm just saying, ladies, we don't want to give Satan anything.
That's right.
So that, that's one of the things that I often wonder about women. And then, oh Lord, I know the women are going to be mad at me. I'm just being real. I'm just being real today.
That's the truth.
Let's talk about the way, and I'm speaking of present company myself as well. We get comfortable. We get comfortable, at home, and then it's like there's an expectation that I don't have to do anything, but you have got to do everything. And then we want to be disrespectful. Lord Jesus, have mercy.
Yes.
On my soul. We want to be disrespectful to our husband.
Okay.
Well, who is she to tell me about being disrespectful? I'm not telling you. That's what the word says.
Yes.
The word says to respect your husband.
Yes. Well, the greatest need of any man is respect, period.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's the top of the line.
And you're 100% right. And, and this is one thing that in my union that we used to always say, he would often say to me, well, just respect me, and my job is to love you. And if you think about it, they both go hand in hand. I can't respect you without loving you. I can't love you without respecting you.
That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right.
So it plays a wide role in it. But I want to get back about, I want to speak a little bit about these domestic violence situations and what makes us keep going back.
Okay, yes.
What makes us go back to a situation that we know almost killed us, literally? First, I had mentioned about the children, say for the sake of the children. Then, you may have heard about individuals being manipulating their spouse.
Yes.
So I'm going to kill myself if you don't say. And unfortunately, I know you listen to the news as much as I do, that unfortunately sometimes that actually does happen.
Yes.
You know, or it becomes a suicide mission.
Yes.
You know, to where they'll kill that person, myself, but I'm gonna kill you too. And then we've got to this our land is just so sick, Father help us today, to where we'll even take our kids, you know, life.
Yes.
It's just, you know, we're just in turmoil. That's why I said it's so important that the home, which starts with the husband, the home has a solid foundation for the kids, for the wife, you know. And that's not to say that something isn't going to happen, because we know our kids may go, and even though we may have raised them to be godly children and raised in the right way, that when they're amongst their peers. But I guarantee you, if you put that seed, if you plant that seed and be firm with that seed, and then also be an example, we as adults, we have to be examples of, you know, what we want our kids to do. And then they will.
Yes.
Often they'll veer away from as much as possible.
Well,
I know I did.
Well, let me ask you this, and we talked about what makes us go back, and we talked about the type of relationship that the person has with their family. But I've discovered that in some, you know, in pastoring all ministering over these years, that in a lot of cases, let's say, use for the woman, for example, the mother-in-law, she was abused by that young man's father, and her answer is, you know, his daddy was like that, his grandfather was like that, so you're just going to have to deal with it like I dealt with it. And I've heard that, and if there's no support that the woman has, or even if she doesn't really have a family, or if her family, you know, doesn't have as much money or lives in a different part of the world, different part of the country, that woman can feel trapped in that situation.
Oh, Lord Jesus.
And
my neighborhood.
I've dealt with that, and I've seen that where they have said, you know, you just gonna have to woman up and deal with it. But now, you know, but how does a woman come out of that? How does she get out of that situation?
Well, I can honestly say, although that was my ex-mother-in-law, but I dealt with that a lot.
Okay, okay.
You know, well, just what you need to do is be quiet.
Okay.
Really. So I have no voice, nothing. So, you know, what you need to do is, hey, women of today, or women, you know, our elders, that's what they went through that, and that's, you know, we look at us now, you know, we're still here, everything is okay. No, everything's not okay.
Because that's a different demon out there now. This demon now will kill you.
Absolutely. You know, but I dealt with that. Matter of fact, one of the comments that was told to me back in the day was, well, you know, so what, you know, you're going through all this right now. It's not for you to reap your benefits here. You reap your benefits when you get to heaven.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
Wow.
I kid you not. I like you not.
Wow.
And I thought to myself, really? And, you know, I'll be honest with you, I started taking a poll. I really did. I started taking a poll when I would go to church, and I would just kind of, I'd look around, and you'd be amazed that, yes, you stayed in there. You stayed in there against the adultery and the abuse and this, that, but they look so tired and worn out, and you're still at church by yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You still serve it by yourself. Yeah. So what was it really worth it? And this is the one thing that I have learned in my travels, that God he was not going to bless me with, and he wouldn't have blessed me with the true man who he has in store for me, which I have no idea who that is, but the true man who he has in store for me, because I was not in a union that was of him.
Yes, yes.
You know, and nothing against the person, it's just that was not who God wanted me to be, because then I began to change who I was and try to please the person who I was married to.
Yes, yes.
You know, and so
and you know, and that's the one thing that people ask me about my wife and I, because our personalities are totally different. And I've always said, I let her be her and she let me be me. You know, when I relax and unwind, I don't like to say anything. when she relax and unwind, she likes to talk, and they ask me, how does I handle that? And I say, I let her talk, and she let me listen. And we move on with it. But you know what people have, I've discovered, and to piggyback on your point about they still at church by themselves and they look tired and worn out. People have mistaken survival for success. And because you survived something still doesn't mean, when you get out of something, doesn't mean that you've healed from it. Some of them are hateful, mean. A pastor told me something years ago when I was about 20 years old, years before I even got married. And he told me that, said, young man, the greatest thing a man could do for his children is treat their mother right. He said, if a man treats them, it does wonders for the psychological landscape of children who, when a man have seen their mother treated right. That's a great more than, you know, of course you need to provide and be fat, you know, part of treating a person right is provide, you know, you can't not bring no money home and just come home with a bunch of grins, you know. That ain't gonna do it. But at the same time, that is vital. That is vital to that. Now let me move on with this question here. After being a victim, you know, in your own lifetime, have you ever found yourself to be the abuser in the relationship?
Absolutely, unfortunately so.
Okay.
I'm going to tell the truth and shame the devil today.
Okay.
Yes, because I began to latch out. I began to what they call assimilation bring about association, bring about assimilation.
Mm-hmm.
So I began to. Hey, there was times when that person was trying to make peace.
Okay.
Then, Lord Jesus, Father, forgive me. But then I would recall something that person did to me because I hadn't let go, because there was nothing of God in our home. So, I began to think about, well, you hit me last week, so I'm going to create a situation this week because I didn't let go last week.
Okay.
And so either emotionally, mentally, physically, financially.
Okay.
There was times that I work, so I'm gonna keep my money.
Okay.
And that became to be a problem within the home.
Okay.
Again, because there was no foundation. When I say foundation, I'm talking about the foundation of God.
Okay.
I'm talking about the foundation of nothing else, because you can have a foundation of, we're going to have our finances, and you got everything else together, but you do not have the foundation of God within your home.
That's
I
right.
don't care, it's going to crumble. I could care less, and anybody can tell me anything, and I guarantee you, if you do not have that spiritual foundation in your home, your walls are going to crumble.
That's right. That's right.
So, yes, and so, I found myself to be, and then at the end of the marriage, towards the end, I found myself to begin to be physically abusive.
Okay.
Whereas, at first, I was the type of wife that said, hey, as the Bible said, my body is, my husband's and my husband's mine. And then after so much abuse on both ends, that meant nothing to me anymore. So
Okay.
it just became a whirlwind. It became like a domino effect.
Okay.
And like I said, that can happen to you. And I have to even admit that as a child, and back in the day when you would get a spanking, wasn't considered to be abuse.
Yeah. Yeah.
But nowadays it is, and that's one of the things that I try to do. I'm not trying to say that tell any parents on how to handle their kids, but what I am saying is this what a spanking is, all of a sudden it's turned into killing our kids.
Yes.
And that again going back to that abuse and no God in your home.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So,
yes.
yeah, it happens.
Okay. Now let's switch. Let's kind of talk about the play. You have written. You've written actually 4 plays now. I'm looking at The Healing of Young Souls, The Battle is the Lord, and Today's Black Woman. What made you turn to writing plays to speak and minister worldwide?
Well, it originally started with kids.
Okay.
My daughter my daughter, where I was living, there was a lot of children that were in foster homes and things like that, and so I was so overprotective with my child, Lord have mercy.
Okay.
And so when I would get home from work, my sister was a little bit more lenient, and so I get home and my daughter is playing with all the kids in the neighborhood. I'm like, oh, okay, well, wait a minute, okay, if you're gonna be out there, now I need to know all the kids. I need to know what's going on out here.
Okay.
So as I began to learn about the kids, a majority, probably 80% of them were in foster homes or adoptive homes or whatever, and had came from these type of homes.
Okay.
And so I decided that it was coming around Christmas time, and I saw a lot of these kids would just be outside, just kind of doing nothing. Just nothing during summer, things like that. So I said, well, I tell you what, you guys, I said, I'm gonna write a skit. And so everybody, in the neighborhood, we just gonna do a skit. And I don't know how. Well, yes, I do. It was nothing but Jesus. That this skit, I kid you not, turned into a full-blown play.
Okay.
It ended up. We were interviewed with. It was out in San Bernardino County.
Okay.
In California. That's where I'm originally from. And it just went. It just spread it like wildfire.
Okay.
And so a lot of the news stations and a lot of the newspapers, and they came out and they just really got involved with the children.
Okay.
Who had begun to change their lives around because they realized that, oh, wait a minute, I don't have to just live like this. I can do this. I can be successful. I mean, you should have seen their faces when it came to them completing or finishing the play and all the accolades that they had received and all that. And plus, all the frustration that they had with whatever they went through, they were able to, act that out on the stage.
Okay.
And so it just really, really went well. And so where I went from there was I started to think about my own life. And I thought, wait a minute, there's some things I need to get out of me. So what better way to do it than to act it out?
Okay.
And so that's what made me begin to write things like This Battle is the Lord, and of course this one that I'm coming out with again, which is called What in the Hell Were You Thinking?
Mm-hmm.
And it plays a two-part. A lot of times people would think, oh, okay, it's just about a woman being abused. No, there's a part in there where a man is being abused, not physically, but he's being abused emotionally.
Okay.
And he's such a good husband, and he's trying to really love his wife, but this woman is so controlling, it's just ridiculous.
Okay.
Until it finally gets to the point to where he finally says, hey, I'm done. And then he walks away. And so that's when that woman began to think, what the hell were you thinking? You had a wonderful husband, and you drove him away.
Okay. Okay.
And then there's, of course, another part where there is a part where there's a woman who, she's not being abused, but she's just kind of going back in her history of what she was thinking, and she starts talking about men that she had dated in her life, where one man, it was really funny, he had told her, he said, oh, did I tell you I had 10 kids?
Wow.
Like, well, yeah, you told me you had 10. Oh, well, if one's on the way, does that make 10 or 11?
Okay. Okay.
And so, there's a little humor in it as well.
Okay.
And,
okay.
Yeah, just kind of telling the story.
Okay, and I want to follow up on the play aspect of it, but you hit on something when you told me that just then. I've discovered, and this is again through my years of ministry and pastoring, I've discovered that there are some women that have been hurt until the point they want to get a down and out man, and what I call make a man, and give him this, that, and the other, give him a place to stay, dress him real good, and because they feel like he'll be true to them and he'll be right up under them, and they can kind of control everything to where, I helped him here, and you owe me, so that way he'll always be that close to me and true to me, and in every situation it turns out to be not the right situation, because you're trying to make them, and you can't make another adult. You can't, that person. One of the things we tell women that some women date people in prison, or they become pen pals with them. And our advice is always, they save behind those prison walls. Let them get saved, and let them live saved outside of the prison walls, because they had a lady come through here some years ago telling the women, to go to the you say you can't find a man to go to the penitentiary to get them, because they were just diamonds in the rough. And while she was running revivals, he was robbing robbing the cars and robbing the stores while she in there preaching. And so there's a lot of that. There's a lot of, let me get somebody who don't have much, who's insecure. And in that situation, what happens, and I want to get back to where we're at, but when you said that, it just kind of brought that point back. I kind of had forgotten about that. But a man that's down on himself will have a tendency to use a woman like medicine. You'll use her until he'll get all of that attention and the physical and the food, and he look good until he feels, because he's been in prison or he's been down on himself, and now that he feels like a man, it's like medicine. Now you've taken all your medicine and you feel better, you don't take your medicine anymore. And a lot of times that causes now he ready to fight and cut up, and she's trying to figure out why, because of all of this I've done for you.
Pastor, I'm going to need you to get off my toes.
Okay, but that happens. But I mean, I've seen it. I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen. But now let's get to this other part here. With this production and the success and what success and outcome are you asking God for?
I really want God to just open the door to where I can be an advocate for these women, where they are able to come and, because I'm going to try and, again, get back with the Houston Area Women's Center. I had partnered up with them for a little bit back when I did the play the last time. And
okay.
It really gives them an out. I mean, and not just, sometimes when we go to these domestic shelters or these shelter homes, it's not really an out. Oh, they're there, and there's a little counseling, but no, we've got to get to these deep-rooted scenarios, and that's why my plays really deal with the deep-rooted issues. It's not just sugar-coated.
Okay.
A lot of people ask me, like the healing of, woman, what the hell are you thinking? It literally starts off where a woman takes her life at the beginning of the play.
Okay.
And a lot of people questioned me about that. They said, well, but that's real.
Yes.
I'm not trying to make it, because some women just don't make it through, unfortunately, because they've given so much to this man, explaining exactly what you just said. This young woman, as the play starts off, she's given so much to a man. She changed her hair, she did this, she did that, until he came and he said, hey, he's out, and he left with another woman. And so it's funny that you should be saying that.
Yes.
And so she literally takes her life away because she just couldn't take it.
Okay.
And as we hear on the news all day, things like that happen. But if we deal with the realistic part of it, then maybe, we could really get down to what's really deep-rooted inside you. Because it's not until you get that cancer out, Lord,
yes.
help us.
Yes.
It's not until you get that cancer that's so deeply rooted in. I don't care what relationship you get into, it's going to come out.
Yes, yes.
It's going to come out. So, and that's for the man and the woman, So
yes.
it's so important. And I don't, I hate to talk about this, but unfortunately, my brother had ended up being a lot like my dad.
Okay.
And that's unfortunate.
Yes.
Because that's what he saw. So there's a lot of cancer that's still built up that needs to be taken out. But again, it's not until you want to come smack dab in the mirror, looking at yourself and say, yes, this is who I am, because I became an abuser, and this is where I came from.
Yes.
I was abused. And deal with that, and let God just truly deal with that within your life.
Yes.
And until that happens, you're going to, unfortunately, go forever to your grave that way.
Yeah.
And it's bad.
And I by not having, now my father was a saved man. He and my mother were separated, but my father was, they were both, I wasn't around when all that, but it wasn't that type of situation. But what I did, I looked at the word. The Bible says a man should love his wife as Christ loved the church and gave himself for her. So I just begin to use, people use it as a joke sometimes and say, what would Jesus do? But it's actually, people may say it in humor, but don't realize the power in that statement, that if you follow what he would have done, what did he do? He empowered the church. A man should empower his wife. He gave his life. He was a protector. He gave his life that we wouldn't be lost eternal. He reconciled us back to the Father. These are the things. He healed people's emotions. He healed their physical body. All of these things go into what it takes to make a solid home. This is good. We only have about 6 more minutes, and I'm kind of upset, boy, because I'm really enjoying this. We're gonna have to do this again coming up close to the play.
Absolutely. Let me share one more thing, if I can.
Go ahead.
One thing that I do want to say, where God has brought me, which is truly a mighty long way, was that back when I was in union, in marriage, I really didn't understand. I thought I did when it said, talk about submission to your husband. That brought about, how that can be.
Yes.
That word, it makes people want to cringe.
Yes.
And it wasn't until I truly got in the word and I began to truly listen to God, truly read and understand what God was saying. God said, well, first of all, I got to be submissive unto God.
Yes.
And submit everything, give my all to Him. And then I tell you, ladies, please believe me when I say that. Once you have truly done that, it is very easy to submit unto your husband, because then you are submitting up unto God's law. It's not for you to change your husband. It's not.
Yes.
First of all, you can't.
Yes.
But I guarantee you, if you're submissive up under what God say, and you just pray, and you say in your, I hate to say it, but I'm going to take it from the street term, stay in your lane and let God, because can't nobody whoop you like God can.
Yes,
let
yes.
God deal with your husband.
Yes.
You be praying, you cover your husband as well. And I guarantee you, if you just give everything to God and you submit your everything to God, it's going to be so much easier, because you're going to realize that, hey, I'm in the will of God, what He's asked me to do, and He's going to take care of everything else. I guarantee you.
Amen. Now, if someone wants to, could you give us the dates and times of your play?
Absolutely. So there's going to be 2 views of it. It's going to be October the 8th, and that's going to be from 7 to 9.
Okay.
And it's going to be October the 9th from 3 until 4:30.
Okay.
If you want to reach me, if I can go ahead and give that information.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. If you want to reach me, you can email me with JL Giles, E is George, ILES, the alphabet OO, 49@gmail.com, or you can call me at 972-400-6071.
Okay. Amen. And that's going to be at the Stafford. What's that?
Yes, the Stafford Civic Center, and that's in Stafford, Texas.
Okay. Stafford Civic Center in Stafford, Texas. Okay, we got about 3 minutes, so just kind of give us maybe 2 minutes. We got 2 minutes, I've been told. So take about 30 seconds and maybe just give us a closing, and we'll go on from there.
Well, again, I just wanna just thank God for the opportunity, and I thank you so much for giving me this opportunity.
Amen.
To kind of get the word out there, and just see if I can just speak to some of the women, men, children, whoever who's going through, and just let you know, hey, God does have the last say so, and He does have an out for us.
Amen. All right. God bless you. This is Bishop Albert Thompson. We've been on the phone with playwright Jacqueline Leah Giles out of Houston, Texas, and she has a play. She's a writer, brilliant writer. She has other plays she's written. It is just wonderful the way she's ministering through this venue. And I want you to know, everybody may not be a pastor, everybody might not be evangelist, but you have something to do, and you have a work to do, and do it with all that's in you, and do whatever it is that God called you to do. This is Bishop Albert Thompson, Senior Pastor of the He is Risen World Outreach. We're temporarily located at 1910 South College. We're holding service at the Hampton Inn and Suites. That's in the city of Lafayette, Louisiana. Email me at bishopadalbert@outlook.com. Again, that's bishopadalbert@outlook.com. Or you can call me at area code 337-326-7478, or like our Facebook page, He is Risen World Outreach. That's He is Risen World Outreach. And leave us a message on there. We have some of our other shows on there, and we want to try to get this show on as soon as we possibly can. I'm not the technical person, so I got to lean on other people to help me get that done. But praise God, we're so delighted for being here, and we hope to see you on next week. Well, I believe I have Pastor Landry, so we'll see you next week. God bless you, and y'all tune in next week.